Yeah, all of you beautiful souls. Today's review is on the TV series Halo. And believe it or not, growing up as a child or, baby Luke, or teenage Luke actually got to play Halo 1 and Halo 2. I remember, before there was, Xbox Live or before I got into Xbox Live, there was always, where you would connect the Xboxes together, right? I believe it was called System Link. Yeah, System Link. And you could have, 8 players in the same room all playing their Xbox at the same time. That was so much fun. So much fun growing up as a teenager, inviting your friends over and we would have 3 of the brick televisions. They weren't the wide flat screen TVs back then. They were just a brick television. We would have 3 of them, and one of our friends would bring over his television, and another friend would bring his Xbox, and we would system link Halo 2, and then there was Halo 3, and people would be what do you call it? Screen cheating or screen watching, someone else's screen, and then they would realize that they were watching their own character get killed while they were screen watching. Oh, the good old memories, right? The good old days. And I had the privilege to play a lot of Halo Reach actually recently, which was actually more of my favorite. I did Halo Infinite a little bit, but couldn't quite get into it. I remember the first week it came out, there was a lot of problems and glitches and whatnot. Now, anyways, I think the thing with Halo, just being honest through being very very brutally honest, was Master Chief was a very badass and cool character, kind of like Leonidas from the Spartan, right? The Spartan movie, aka Spartans. Now, Master Chief was a badass. Master Chief was just this, right? We just being able to jump in and grab a controller and start, guiding and playing as the badass Master Chief, the most badass warrior in the entire, right, universe and so on, was is just awesome. But the thing that really made Halo special at the end of the day was the story. It was the story and the plot and the just the crazy things that hadn't really been done in sci-fi before. Like Star Wars. I think the Star Wars had the advantage of action, and the writing's obviously on another level, but it was very unique when it first came out. I think when Halo first came out, it was just so unique, right? Having this idea that humans could fight back and compete against aliens, but was a very basic level with just having these badass Spartans, but then also on a deeper level, with the Halos and all of the other backstories and other stories going on behind the scenes for people that wanted that deeper layer. And the Halo TV series, I felt, people were already criticizing and leaving reviews just after the season one's first episode. And I laugh because, in another epic, right? One of the biggest epics, Game of Thrones. When the first season of Game of Thrones came out, nobody was really expecting, right? There were no expectations. It was just whatever. And the first season honestly didn't have that good of reviews. And the first couple of episodes in season one, they were horrible, right? And not horrible, but I mean it was nothing special really. And I think people, don't realize, even The Witcher, The Witcher, the first couple episodes, even season one of The Witcher, it took time to get going. Breaking Bad took time to get going. All of these epic TV shows took time to get going, right? None of these TV shows were just amazing right away, right? It took a lot of time for them to get building up and have the character development and the characters actually, growing and with the story itself. And I feel like, yes, I feel like as an overall season, Halo, with the reputation that it had and the fan base that it had, there were very high expectations, and very well so. I mean, Halo is the story of Halo, and just the name of Halo alone already speaks for itself. But the TV show, though, I honestly don't think it was. I mean, the CGI could have, no doubt, the CGI could have been a lot better. the CGI could have been a lot better. Master Chief not having his helmet on, was that different? Yeah, but was it a huge game changer? I don't think so, because I remember everybody always wanted to see Master Chief's face, and then you finally got to, actually, and there were ways and video clips on YouTube that where people actually were able to get around and find it. They actually had programmed it, and there actually was a face that they had created. So I mean, it wasn't a huge, like top right level one secret, right? No. Now, the thing that I really liked about this series was not just Master Chief, but having other Spartans, right? Other Spartans just kicking ass and just destroying things. Now, I think Halo Reach was by far, they were my favorite Spartans. I think Cat was just that motherly presence, right? When you think of a grizzly bear defending its cubs, that grizzly bear mother is just going to get nasty and just wreck things, right? And I really think having two female Spartans was definitely nice. I think Kai was a complete badass, and we really got to go into more of the backstory of John. In the books they do a little bit, but this was a lot deeper, and we really got to go into that. We also got to see a lot of the emotional side and the just a lot of the values and character of Master Chief, right? Especially after he took out his emotional stabilizer. That was really cool. And I think the thing that really made Halo special, that they really focused on in this TV series, was Cortana, and just the amount of influence that Cortana had. The one thing that they fell short on, I feel, in this series that they could have done a lot better, was just the story of Cortana. Because, we all love and connect to, Cortana, that, all of us who, actually played the video games, and even in the TV series, we feel how impactful she is. But I don't feel like, they really did a good job with John and his backstory. I feel like they could have used a little bit of that TV time to also focus on more of the Cortana, right? More of the creation of her too, not just John. That would have been really awesome. Another thing too was the acting definitely fell short. I don't know who's responsible for that, but that was definitely a little disappointing. The CGI, as I mentioned, was definitely disappointing, but overall, though, especially the last few episodes, we really got to feel what made Halo special, and that was the story. That was the crazy plot twist, and just adding on all of this action to make it work. Because a lot of times, movies are just pure action. They're obviously not going to be, anything, that you're going to love and be your top favorite movie, probably. And they get like a 5 or a 6, out of 10 stars, but you still watch it anyways when you're bored at night and just want to watch, a bunch of guys get destroyed or whatever. 300, was just a bunch of action, and, The Matrix was kind of borderline, but a lot of the action or original Matrix movies, the fighting was just so awesome. And I think Halo, but a lot of times you don't have a really epic story, really good story, which automatically gets a movie good reviews, and then the action too. It's usually one or the other. But the thing that really made Halo special was it was able to bring in these memorable, just flagship fighting scenes, but also at the same time the storyline was there, up to par with it. And I think we got to experience that really towards the last 3 episodes of this TV series. The little girl, I don't even remember her name. I honestly skipped through most of, if not half of her scenes. I understand, there's a lot of kids and preteens that, play Halo nowadays. They have to appeal and they have to market and bring in, the next generation, of all the little kiddos. I understand that. I mean, and I'm thankfully, she didn't take up any more time than she did, and they managed to, kind of just cut her off towards the last 3 episodes, or, especially the last episode. But yeah, I mean, that was, I mean, like I said, I understand they need to, all of the kiddos that play Halo, they need to make them happy. So I mean, like I said, I focused more, like I said, I skipped to most of the Master Chief and the main, adult storyline, or the lure of that. It was cool though. I wasn't aware that, you know, Spartans had defective, you know, and managed to survive and, you know, even start you know, a civilian life. That was really cool. Wasn't aware of that. And the ending of this series is so interesting. My biggest question is, you know, these are Spartan ones. These are Spartan ones, and you know, Kai just jumped out of a burning and crashing ship and survived like, you know, she was just walking out of her car like any other day. And we saw all of the badass, you know, fighting scenes with these Spartan ones. But my question is, how are they going to do the new and next generation of Spartans in this TV series? Because, you know, you have Spartan 2s and, you know, they keep upgrading. So I don't know how they're going to portray that through, you know, the TV series with where they already started. I'm very curious and interested, you know, in when or how these Spartans are going to die. You know, we didn't know about these Spartans, and they're already making it really far in the storyline, which is really interesting. I am interested though, in, you know, when the next generation of Spartans come and how that's going to connect to the whole series. I'm really interested in how they're going to do the second season, because I mean, they really, I feel like, captivated a lot of what makes Halo Halo besides the, you know, the rest of the story. So I'm really interested in, very very similar to, you know, Game of Thrones. You know, how are they going to take something that's already been done, and how are they going to, you know, take a step further from the first season that was really, you know, I would give it a maybe 6.5, 7 out of 10 stars, right? How are they going to now take it to the next level, right? How are they going to build and grow? Because that's what, you know, all of these epic, you know, TV series have done in the past, right? The second season and the third season are the most important. And I'm very, very interested in where they're going to go. As I said, I would give the series a 7 out of 10 because of the CGI, you know, and the acting was definitely a disappointment. I could understand now they were focusing more on the battle scenes, but you know, they fell short with the CGI. Now, was it still way better than the other Halo content, live action Halos we had? Absolutely. You know, and was the story actually, you know, emotionally impactful and actually started to, you know, stir up some, you know, some good storylines towards the end? Yeah. So we got to see where they go. This is my honest Halo review, guys. Have a beautiful day.